Hello everybody. Last night we got a fresh new beta drop. Well, we don't actually know what the beta update is called yet, so let's go with the Heated Vault update based on what Jesse said in this forum thread. I think Hot Sanctum also works too. This beta, which you can access on Steam through the game's properties, adds part 1 of the next update, which will be focusing on presumably concluding all of that stuff in the ancient Sanctum biome. We got a new quote-unquote boss encounter, some quality of life changes, and, as is tradition with me doing videos on things right before they get a rework, a bunch of new Fumarole themed additions, all thanks to a new drop from geothermites. Keep in mind, a lot of stuff in this update is subject to change, and what you're seeing now is unfinished and it might look completely different by the time you see it. The standard beta stuff, yada yada. Without further ado, let's quickly dive on in. But first, before we dive on in and admire the new beautiful main menu art, navigate your way over to your skin collection and take note of this little button down here. Clicking this will open a menu where you can see all of the duplicate skins that you own and give you a convenient option to unravel all of them at once, showing you just how many spools you'll get down here. A super duper useful quality of life change. Oh my goodness, I didn't realise I had so many dupes. This basically saves you from having to go to every character's page and deleting all the skins one by one. It cuts down the time massively. But now, let's take a trip back to the Fumarole biome to see what's going on down there now. Well, not a whole lot really. Since our last video surviving here, it still seems the same as last time, a horrible barren hexscape. But if you divert your attention to those little geothermite guys, you'll notice that they sometimes have a new drop, a heat gland. This can be consumed for a tiny bit of healing and a whole lot of heating. But what you can also do is combine them with some niter and sticks to unlock a whole new line of tools, the Thermic tools. These come in all of your standard tool flavours, from pickaxe to shovels and even hoes. The best way to describe these things is like a mix between the obsidian tools from Shipwrecked and the thermal stone. Basically, if the tool is hot, it works slightly faster than any other tool, whilst at the same time heating you up and illuminating a small area around you, just like a thermal stone would. Their durability will also not go down at all from you simply using them for their intended purpose, but using them as a weapon seems to break them nearly instantly. This is a bug. Instead, they only ever lose durability if they get too cold, where they'll revert back into a broken state and need to be reheated by a fire or anything before they can be used again. Every time this happens, it will lose 25% durability. This means, as long as you keep the tool hot, these can last for as long as you want, and work slightly faster than their standard counterparts, all the while keeping you warm whilst you do so. It's an excellent versatile little thing, basically like a hand bat for an axe. It only goes down in durability over time, or not at all if you keep it warm. Right now they're unfinished, and Clay hopes to add a new heat-based damage with thermic tools that could possibly even pierce armour. Though, for that to happen, the tools would need to not break instantly when used in combat. The Thermic Axe would be an amazing weapon for WX spinny mains to enjoy. But yeah, as Omar said over on my Discord, this is a bug that will be fixed, so look forward to that. But speaking of heat-based damage, let's talk about coals. These are also made out of thermic glands and function as a brand new type of trap, as a reusable damaging floor trap to keep away or damage enemies. You simply scatter them on the ground and heat them up with a nearby heat source like a fire pit, where they will then do slight bits of damage to any enemy, or you, when they walk over them, seemingly fearing smaller mobs like hounds. The damage isn't crazy high or anything, but the coals themselves seem to not have any durability, and can be easily picked up and relocated wherever you want. Just don't do this if it's hot because this will hurt you. The only cost of activating them is to simply light a fire nearby. Would be decent at making little hound panic areas or squeezing out tiny bits of DPS against certain bosses. Just make sure to mind your feet. But if you don't want to mind your feet, you could check out the last new craft from these glands, the cooling balm. A very potent little healing item on its own that also gives you immunity to fire damage. Perfect when combined with the previously mentioned hot coals, or if you're playing with an overzealous Willow. It opens up fire damage to a lot more people than just Willow or Wigfrid. So those are all of the new things you can craft with thermal glands. It's super duper nice to see not only a new series of tools after so long, but ones tied to a biome that, beside the boulder bowels, really felt underutilized since I checked it out for that one video. I just gotta be really careful with what videos I work on next because it seems like Clay is watching. But now, it's time we talk about the main focus of this update, even though the Fumarole changes are my main focus. The new room at the end of the Sanctum. Remember this area they added ages ago that didn't lead anywhere? Well, now it leads somewhere. But before you go deeper, you can now throw a rope down the hole into the ancient archive from the Sanctum, letting you travel back up here whenever you want without you needing to fall into a very big scary whirlpool every time that also triggers my thalassophobia. Very nice stuff. Back to the Sanctum though. If you want to know more about this place, I covered it in its own update video. If you want to check that out, then link's in the top right. But now though, in this beta, you can finally teleport to the room behind those funky statues, leading us to every Don't Starve gamer's biggest fear, a shower room. Yeah, this weird little checkpoint completely refills your sanity when you pass through it. Pretty cool, but actually a downside, you'll see why. Once you've had your weekly shower, you're presented with this big room. 4 pillars and 4 receptacles in the middle. To power this chamber, you will need 4 spark arcs. Yeah, it turns out this place isn't fully the Shadow questline like we thought it was going to be. You still need to do most of the Lunar quest chain and help out Wagstaff 4 times in order to actually do anything in this room. I can't ever escape this guy. It's a bit weird, honestly. I thought this was going to be a fully Shadow-based storyline, but I guess it's the culmination of both the Shadow and the Lunar questline. Anyway, once you plug the spark arcs into the receptacles, get ready for this new nightmare of an encounter. Those 4 pillars turn into 4 pillar men, and their directive is to crush you into a pulp. Your directive? Either kill them, which is incredibly hard because there's 4 of them and they do a lot of knockback damage, or pull the levers in the middle, kill the weird ball things that spawn, and push them into a hole. Do that 4 times to get the vault key. Now, actually doing this is incredibly hard. You have 4 6,000 HP lugs that want to crush you into sand whilst you're trying to fight bugs and push boulders around. Fortunately though, there is a way to make this a little bit easier. You know how there was a sanity restoring checkpoint before entering this area? Well, there's a reason for that. The Pillar Men hate shadow creatures. So much so that they will completely ignore you and fight them instead if they happen upon them. Using bone helmets and other methods of lowering your sanity to distract them makes the task of killing them or pushing the balls around a whole lot easier. Killing the big pillar men makes them drop orb shards, and a schematic to turn those orb shards into refined orbs. We'll go over what those orbs do in a little bit. But yeah, the main goal is just to fill those 4 holes with the 4 balls, and claim the vault key in the middle. This is currently the end of this beta. I don't think there's any way to actually claim the vault key, and even if you could, it doesn't do anything if you use it on the gateway. Right now, a lot of things here are completely subject to change, including the actual rest of the quest, as well as the loot the Pillar Men drop. But let's go over what those orbs actually do. Right-clicking them lets you peer through them and open your map. That's not all too interesting, so what you can do instead is plug 3 of them into a telelocator focus, and then peer through a 4th one to teleport to that focus. This consumes the orb you use to teleport with, but not the ones in the focus. In fact, those orbs in the focus will stay there forever, letting you use this telelocator base as many times as you want. And it's not only limited to using orbs. The orbs simply let you choose a focus to teleport to instead of the nearest one. You can still use a telelocator staff to bring yourself or any mob to the nearest focus, and it will stay powered up for as long as you have orbs in there. So now we have more seamless methods of teleportation. A pretty worthy reward for defeating the big pillar guys. Of course, remember, their drops are subject to change, so we'll see how things look in the future for now. I just hope people don't complain that Wartox has been made redundant yet again. I'm always part of the camp that moving around sucks and being able to teleport owns, and Wartox should not be the only person that can do that, even though that was kind of their gimmick for the longest time. Last thing to mention for this beta, because I have nowhere else to put it, is that night hands will no longer target night lights. A simple change that makes total sense, and gives more value to night lights. Really cool. But that is pretty much it for this beta. We got a bunch of new Fumarole themed tools and goodies, as well as the first part of the conclusion of whatever quest chain this is. Clay have indeed decided to split up this upcoming update into 2 parts, which is a good idea if the conclusion involves us potentially going into the Atrium Gateway. I personally feel it is a good choice in doing that, as it gives them more time to flesh out both updates, and I am very thankful that we got some more evergreen changes with the Fumarole guys to help keep us fed until then. Thank you all at home for watching. Let me know what you all think about this beta down below. I probably missed some stuff or some important details, but I'll go over those things I missed and the new changes in the final update when that drops. For now, I'm gonna go chop down some trees hot style. Cheers everyone, take care, bye bye.